How you doing there, Bob? Well, the Mustang's all set, ready to go, and there's a few things I wanted to go over with you on the car. Little nuances that Mustangs have and some care and things I think you should know about before you get the car. Number one, the fit and finish on the car is second to none. Body lines are like a new Cadillac. The fit of the windows are just about as perfect as they get. Would I encourage you to run the thing through a car wash? No, I would never encourage that. But I tell you what, we got as close as to a new car fit as they can get. Things like even the front bumper. We modified the front bumper brackets so we could tuck this bumper in and close up this margin right here. All this in the way the headlight door and the hood fits is like we made the pieces to the puzzle. And you'll notice this kind of thing more when you pull up into a car show or a cruise night and another one of these Mustangs sitting there, and you'll see how misfit most Mustangs are. But we tried to make it so it's as perfect as possible. The doors just pop open. You press the button, it just pops open. And we made them so you just kind of use the handle and it shuts nicely. You don't have to slam them. You don't have to touch the paint. And it lines nice. Trunk-wise, same way. All this stuff back here, the end cap, the trunk lid, the bumper, the valance back here, all this stuff just lines up about as perfect as they can get. Trunk lid, just turn the key. It opens up nicely. It does have a little bit of spring to it because it's all new stuff, so watch that. Inside the trunk, we got the trunk mat, the spare tire, the tire cover. There's a boot cover over there that when you put the top down, you can put that boot on for a decorative, maybe a parade or something. And then when you close the trunk, you can just use this little thing here with your finger and just kind of set it in place. You know, the finish on this thing is like fine furniture. It's been sanded and buffed to a mirror shine. So the idea is to maybe not touch the paint because it has such a good shine. If you go across it, you can mar it fairly easy, just like fine furniture. So we made it so you don't have to touch the paint to operate the doors, the hood, and the trunk. Let me show you how the hood works. The hood latch itself is just below the grill opening right here. Pull it, unlatches, and then the hood comes up nicely. Underneath the hood, what you'll notice is a lot of nice original markings that we made. You know, the factory, as this thing went down the assembly line, put different markings in the way of these little red X's on each of the shock absorbers, and then an X down over here that told them that this latch was tight. There's a paint OK and then an OK stamp over here for the antifreeze. The paint OK is over here that told the guys that the paint job was done. Things like that you're going to just spot in this motor compartment that is just going to really amaze you on the detail here. If you take this thing to a car show or a cruise night, you're walking away with a first place trophy. That's really the idea behind the restoration on this car. Then as far as shutting the trunk goes, or I'm sorry, the hood goes, just grab it and kind of just let it fall. You don't have to touch the paint, you don't have to slam it. You're going to have to watch other people operating the car because most people are used to slamming things. You don't have to do that with this car. As far as top operation goes, first thing you're going to want to do is roll the windows down. Now keep in mind that this is all mechanical stuff here. So inside here you have like a scissor mechanism that cranks it down. It's not a bad idea to rest your hand on the window as you're cranking with your right hand to just give it a helping hand. When you go to crank it up, kind of grab it and pull it up. It helps the mechanism out. You don't have to do it. It'll work the way it is. But if you want things to last longer, it's not a bad idea to do that. Same thing with the quarter windows. You can just put your two fingers here to kind of help push it down. And then when you go to raise it up, you can grab it and kind of put it in position. These are pretty freestanding windows, so for a while until the weather stripping and all this stuff kind of finds its center, you're going to have to kind of just kind of put it into its place. But once it finds its center, you'll be fine. So anyways, lower this down. Come on over here and unlatch the latches. Of course, you got the latch handle there, the latch handle there. Visor's down, switch is over here, motor it down. Put it up about halfway, and then come on back here and kind of make some folds. You know, before this gets to be where it's sitting in there all the time, these folds are going to have to kind of get a helping hand. Now, chances are the top's going to be down more than it would be around in our state here where it's going, so it'll find its folds pretty quickly. Just motor it all the way down. Now, if you find you want to put the boot on, maybe you're going to a parade or something, or you got the extra time, go over to each side here, take the material, tuck it in, and then close the latch handle. And then that'll allow you to snap the boot into place. It is a real pain in the neck to put the boot on. That's why most of these guys that have these old classic cars, they never put the boots on, because it's a pain in the neck. If you did it a lot and you left the boot on there all the time, it probably would be easier to take on and off. But the best advice I can give you is, if you think the thing's going to sit for more than a week at a time, put the top up and latch it, roll the windows up. Don't let the top just sit back here. Not a good idea to let it sit here weeks or months on end. Top shrinks, then it gets more difficult to latch. As far as putting the top up, just kind of motor her up. We have this thing adjusted where it just comes down and the pins just fall right into place. There's little pin guides here. All you gotta do is just pull down and latch it. Put the visors up. As far as what's going on inside the car, we have these seats where they're adjusted where you can just easily run them in and out. You know, we found a lot of ladies like to drive these cars, but when they get in, they can't like move the seat around. We're conscious of that, so we have the seats so they operate real easy. Inside the glove box is the instructions for the radio with a couple of wires in there so you could attach your phone or whatever to the radio. The air conditioning is pretty self-explanatory. You got your temperature to the right. Turn it all the way to the right. You're going to want it the coldest it can get anyways, and then this one is the fan speed here. These are your heater controls here. Up is off, down puts each one on. I'll put them in the off position because I think where it's going you're not going to need too much heat. As far as the fog lights go, the fog light switch is down over here. Pulling it that way turns it on. We have it hooked to the key, so this way the lights are on and you can operate them with the switch. But if you should forget to turn them off with that switch, we have them so once the key is off, those lights go off. Headlights. You got the old school foot switch here that operates the high and low beam. Got your turn signals on your left, turn signal on your right. Things really work nicely on this car. This brand new steering wheel, which is a wood wheel, they really got it right back in the day with these wood wheels, nice and decorative. All three of the horn buttons work on it. As far as the way it runs really good. You got an electronic carburetor on here, meaning that it's got one wire that leads to it for the choke. So if you want to get in it one morning, you just press it once to the floor, turn the key, and she starts right up. I didn't put too aggressive an exhaust system on. It might sound a little bit noisy in the video or aggressive in the video, but it really isn't. Once you get cruising, it sounds good. It doesn't sound loud at all, but it does sound kind of throaty just sitting there through those original style exhaust tips. If the car sits for more than, say, a week at a time, you're going to want to pump that gas pedal maybe a half a dozen times before you start it, so this way it kind of primes it, and then turn the key. If you let it sit for a month or so at a time, you might have to pump it a little bit more. But short of that, I think you're going to really enjoy this car. Color combination wise, you really got it on the mark. You're going to get people just attracted to this thing and drawn to it. So that's about all I got to say on it. I think we covered most everything on here. And if you got any questions after you got the car, be more than happy to answer them for you if you give me a call. And thanks again for the business. We really appreciate it.